Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do this look, which I like to call is a generic bridal slash bridesmaid makeup look. If you plan on doing the makeup for your own wedding or you're going to be part of a bridal party this summer, just wanted to show you, the how-tos, what not to use, that sort of thing, and also just to give you more confidence that you are totally able to do your own makeup. So I hope you like it, and as always I'll put all the information that I used today in the box below, and let's get started. I've already done my eyebrows, so we're gonna start with foundation. Now when doing wedding and bridal makeup, you need to make sure that the foundation that you're getting is full coverage, and as well that it does not have SPF in it. And the reason for this is because SPF really doesn't work well, especially if your photographer uses flash, and you won't really know whether the photographer is going to be using flash or not, because honestly it really depends on the lighting of that day. So your best bet would just be to play safe and to get a foundation that does not contain SPF. Now my suggestion to you would be to go into Sephora, get a skin match. If you don't already have a full coverage foundation with no SPF in it, you can get a skin match and just tell them like, hey, I'm looking to get a foundation for my wedding, and they will give you great selections. And also it's based on dry skin, oily skin, normal skin. It's amazing, and you can get lots of samples before you buy and try them out. I always suggest doing a total trial run, even a few times or maybe 5 times before your actual wedding day, and photograph it. Like whether it's with a camera that you have yourself, or you could try it for your engagement photos. Just make sure that you're getting the look that you absolutely want, and that's really important because it's going to look different on camera than it is going to look just looking in the mirror or taking a selfie with your own cell phone. So today I'm going to be using YSL Le Teint Touche Eclat foundation. I have skin that's a little bit more on the dry side, and this is very moisturizing and it provides a really nice glow. So I'm going to just pump some of this onto my hand. And I'm going to be using a Makeup Addictions The Finisher brush, which is just a really nice fluffy brush. And just gonna dip that in. Okay, so now that my foundation's done, I'm gonna go ahead and start with my eyes. So priming is really important when you're doing wedding makeup, just because you're gonna have your makeup on for probably 12 to 16 hours and you still want it to look fabulous without the eyeshadows creasing or your eyeliner running and that sort of thing. If you are getting married in the summer, then it's really important that you're getting a really good primer. Now in my experience, especially in the summertime, my eyeshadow tends to crease more just because the heat just makes your lids more oily. So for me, I actually use 3 primers. That sounds really intense and may not be your experience, but again, my suggestion is to get a sample of a primer, test it out, and especially like on hot days, if it's a cold day, then I wouldn't really trust it as much. So the primers that I'm going to be using today, and a lot of people don't need to do 3, but I am really analytical of my eyeshadow and I want it to look just as good, and I mean literally just as good as it did when I put it on. So these are eyeshadow primers that I've had over a period of time that I've collected, and I just find that they work really well when combined together. So the first being the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. Now this stuff is really good. I used to be able to use it just by itself, but I find for some reason that it's just not as great now. Like it doesn't hold the eyeshadow as well, the eyeshadow. Now I find this eyeshadow primer is a little bit more moisturizing than it is drying, so I actually let it sit for a minute or 2 before I put on the next primer. The next primer that I'm going to be using is MAC Painterly. That just comes a little bit dry like this, but honestly you don't need to buy this if you're using it for your wedding. Just get a little sample tube and it'll come in just a little, just go to MAC, little sample tube like this. Honestly the sample will last you probably a month or 2, depending on how much you do your makeup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, again, I like to use my fingers. I just find I get a better application than I do with a brush. Now this primer is very matte, so you have to be careful when you're using eyeshadows on it. You have to set it, just because it's very creamy and it's very thick, which I actually didn't like this when I bought it, but now I've learned how to use it, I guess you could say. Now I apply this right up to right below my brow, and the reason for that is because I do put eyeshadows up there and I don't want them to run, so I put it up quite high. So the other primer and the last primer that I'm going to be using is this NYX Jumbo Milk Pencil. It's almost finished. I've almost run out, but this is perfect because I find it's the same consistency as the MAC Painterly, the paint pot, but it's white, which is really great because, and I apply this on at the very end because the white base will make your eyeshadows really pop. So what I'm going to do is I just put this on over top. And then I just take my finger and I just blend that out. Now by this point your eyes or your eyelids are going to feel incredibly sticky because you've just applied 3 primers on it and it feels really gooey. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a plain white eyeshadow, and I'm using MAC Mylar, and I'm taking a blending brush and I'm just going to go all across the lid right up to the brow bone. And the reason for this is because I want to set the stickiness. I don't want it to be there anymore, and this makes it easier to blend your eyeshadows. So for the sake of this look, I'm going to do kind of a half natural, half smoky look, and the reason for this is, you know, the type of makeup that you want to do on your wedding or as a bridesmaid are going to completely vary on your preference. If you don't feel comfortable doing a smoky eye, then don't do a smoky eye. So this is just a happy medium in between where you can smoke it out more if you want, or you could tone it down a little bit if you wanted, depending on your preference. If you do plan on going natural, the key is to have really fantastic skin. So moisturizing, priming, getting the right type of foundation, spraying Fix Plus on after to really just give you a really nice glowy look. So that would be my suggestion. And also if you want a bit of a smokier eye, maybe invest in a bigger pair of lashes because that will really emphasize your eyes a little bit more. And if that's not for you, then that's totally fine. So today I'm going to be using a combination of this Essence 3D eyeshadow. This is actually from the drugstore and it's cheap. And I'm actually going to be using this as a main part of my lid because I am going to go for a little bit more of a natural look. So I want there to be a little bit more shimmer just to, you know, make the look pop a little bit more. And I'm talking way too much. So I realized my camera wasn't recording, which is completely dumb of me, but I'm a little bit out of practice. So what I did first is I took a Sigma E25 brush and I'm using the Smashbox Full Exposure palette for the matte shadows. And I always use matte shadows in my crease because I find that shimmery ones it can look too shimmery, and I find that shimmer ones run on the crease more. So I'm actually using this, I use this color here in the crease, and I just took a Sigma E25 brush and I just blended it in just like this here. And then I took a Anastasia double-ended brush, this being a little blendy brush, and I took this shade here and I just went into the crease like right below, just like this. And then I took the Real Techniques eyeshadow brush, and I really like the way it's shaped. I went into this color here, and I just applied it. Where did my mirror go? And I just applied it just into the corners, and I just blended it into these two. And just for the sake of showing you guys, since my camera didn't take it, I'm just going to go over the top here again with the Sigma E25 brush. So lightest goes on the top. A transition color, which is a second color here, and then I took a third darker color, and if you really wanted to smoke this out, you could even go in with a black over top and just really blend this out, but I'm going for a happy medium look, so I'm not going to use the black today. And that will just kind of give you, like, it's a little bit smoked out, but it's not too much, and once you put the eyeliner on, it'll really even itself out. And I'm sorry that my camera didn't record because it's being emotional today. Now I'm going to go in with this Essence 3D eyeshadow. I got this at the drugstore. I think it was $3. And I'm going to use the lighter color here, this really nice light shimmer, and I'm going to put that on top. And I'm using a MAC 239 brush. So now I want to blend this eyeshadow in with the other eyeshadows that I used. So I'm not going to add any eyeshadow to this brush, but I'm using the same brush that I used for the transition shade, which was right below the eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna take this and just go over this here, just to create a seamless look. And remember also that even if you think your makeup looks heavy, the camera is gonna take away some of that in the photos. So it's okay to go a little bit overboard. Like I said, even though it may look a lot, again, don't be afraid. And again, I want to blend these edges out here a little bit better. So I'm dipping into that dark shadow and I'm just going to blend up kind of just in a circular motion here. And this is exactly the same thing that I was doing in the first step before when my camera was being an idiot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go over the corners a little bit with this darker shade that's in the quad, and I'm actually using the same Real Techniques base eyeshadow brush just to add a little bit variable here. And I could blend this more onto the lid if I wanted to create a little bit more of a smoky eye effect. Kind of, instead of going up, I'm going into the crease just slightly. This might look like a lot of eyeshadow, but honestly and truthfully, once it's photographed, and I will show you in a second, I'll just put a photograph sliding across, that it really doesn't look like that much makeup. I'm going to take a concealer brush. This is a Sigma F75, and I'm just going to dip this into some of the concealer, and I'm going to create my wing with concealer. I find this makes doing the cat eye a lot easier because you've already created a guide for it. And it also takes away that extra shadow that you may not want to show. And we're gonna apply it right up to that brow just to make it so that it's seamless. So then you're gonna take the beauty blender or just a brush, whichever is your preference, and just blend this out here. This MAC Pro Longwear concealer is on a whole nother level, let me just tell ya. It is creamy as anything. I'm going to take the Anastasia Contour Kit in Light, and I'm going to use the shade Banana just to set my... That's what it's called, my concealer. So I'm actually using a Smashbox contour brush just because I like the shape of it, and I'm going to set it. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to contouring. So for contouring, I'm going to use the same kit, and I'm going to be using the Real Techniques, wow, name's gone, Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm going to dip this in Fawn, and I'm going to go and outline my eyeliner, and I'm going to be using Maybelline Eye Studio Blackest Black Liquid Liner. Now mine is a little bit old and it's kind of dry and it's a little bit more pasty. Normally the new ones are creamier, but I just do this because I find it helps the eyeliner look blacker. I use two eyeliners. This is a Sigma E11 brush. And now I'm sort of following this line that I already created. And I'm basically just making an outline of where I want to apply the liquid liner that I'm going to go and use after. Okay, so now I'm done with the Maybelline eyeliner, and I'm going to go in with NYC Liquid Liner. This stuff is really cheap. It's $4.99 and it is pure liquid. So if you are not comfortable using this, you either get comfortable, that sounds terrible, or you just stick with the liquid liner like the Maybelline, or you can get a pencil eyeliner like the Stila one, which has an end like this, which can also totally work. I actually use this one, not this exact one, but I use this Stila one for my wedding because this stuff will not budge. You could go swimming with it and it won't budge. So I think it's around $30. It's worth it. So if you don't feel comfortable with this super liquidy stuff, then you don't have to do it. You don't have to do this thick of a wing. I honestly don't even know why I did. But, you know, sometimes if you go thick, you can't really go back. That saying is totally true. Now, this is a little bit extreme. Not really my intention, but you don't have to do this. Just don't go as far out. Extreme eyeliner. Definitely not my intention. Now, if you don't like this, you could definitely take some off with, like if it's your wedding day and you're in a rush and you find that you really just don't like it, then take a deep breath and you could put on some really big fake eyelashes, which honestly is really not going to make this extreme eyeliner look that bad. Like, it really won't. And because you're also taking pictures, if anything, it's just going to accentuate the eye. So really going dramatic is not a bad thing. So if you find it's more than what you're comfortable with, don't freak out. Get somebody to take a picture of you real quick, or if your photographer's there, just get them to take a photo and like look at it. If you find that you're okay with it, then fine. If you find you're really just like it's making you freak out inside and you really are not comfortable with it, then get a Q-tip, take some makeup remover and take off some here. Just know that you're gonna have to apply a little bit more of the eyeshadow. But I wouldn't suggest it. It does make things a little bit more messy, but honestly, if worst comes to worst, then just see if you can buy yourself a little bit more time and take some off. I'm going to take a pencil brush. This is a Morphe pencil brush, and I'm going to use this shimmery bottom of the eyeshadow, and I'm just going to apply that right here at the lower lash line. So now for the inner corner highlight, you don't necessarily have to do an inner corner highlight. I like to. I find it gives a nicer look. So I'm actually just going to use a gold, and you could use any gold, honestly. It really doesn't matter. You could get something from the drugstore, or I'm going to use the Half Baked from the Naked One palette. And I'm using another pencil brush, Sigma Pencil E30. And I'm just going to put this right here. For the sake of today's tutorial, I'm going to be using Ardell Demi Whispies. These are really gorgeous, natural looking eyelashes. If dramatic and smoky is not your thing, these are definitely the way to go. And if you find that even this eyeliner is too much for you, skip the eyeliner. Just do a little bit of eyeshadow, stick these on, put on some lip, and you are good to go. Like, wedding makeup and bridesmaid makeup does not have to be complicated. Don't feel the pressure that you need to go too much outside your comfort zone. If that is all you're comfortable with, don't beat yourself up about it. Okay, so I've just finished applying the eyelashes, so now I'm going to finish up with blush, some highlighter, and lips. So for today's blush, I'm going to be using Nars Orgasm, and I Makeup Addiction's the Blusher Brush. Now, Nars Orgasm, there's a dupe for it, which is Milani Luminouso, I think, which is a lot cheaper. But I find it works really well on all skin types. I was going to use my phone as a mirror. I don't think so. Oops. So, and again, you'll need to apply a little bit more blush, not necessarily to make you look like a clown, but if it looks like it's too much for you or too bold, that means it's probably enough. Just because, again, it's going to wear off during the day and photos are going to take some of that blush away. I like to add a little bit of highlight just because it gives a little bit of an extra glow to your cheeks. So I'm going to be using a Morphe fan brush, and I'm going to use MAC Soft and Gentle highlight, which is a beautiful, it's not too yellow, but it's not too white either. What the heck, man? Phone, you are not working as a mirror. And just applying this right on the top of your cheekbones. Lips. So for today's lip, I'm going to be using MAC Dhervish, which is a really nice light pink. And I'm also going to be using the new MAC Whirl lipstick. You could get the MAC Whirl lip liner if you want. See what I just did there? Look at that. Seriously, I love the smell of new MAC lipsticks. Oh, they smell fabulous. The last step, which is absolutely crucial in making your makeup last all day, is to use a powder to set your foundation, highlight, blush, all of that. Now I'm going to use Makeup Forever Professional high definition powder. This is what I used actually on my wedding, but some people complain that it washes them out, like it makes them white a little bit more. So another option you could use is sometimes I take the Anastasia contour kit and I'll use one of the powders from here, and I'll just take a big fluffy brush like this Sigma one right here, just a big one, and you just, you know, with a really light hand go all over it. So I think I've talked way too much today. As always, all the information is down in the box below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and I think that's everything that I have to say. Oh, follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Freckled Glam, Twitter, Miriam Bolcher, and I also have a new website, which I will put also the information to what I'm using today there. It's freckledglam.com. I also have a blog. Go check it out, let me know what you think, which would be awesome. And yeah, that's it. So until next time, bye. I don't really like the fact that it's cloudy outside. This video is going to be way too dark. Clean, 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 clean. Yes. Peace out.